The Monday, September 23rd, 2024 regular meeting of the Paris City Council is hereby called to order at 5:30 p.m. For the purpose of this meeting, there is a quorum of the council present. Invocation. Mr. Gene Anderson will deliver the invocation, and the United States Pledge of Allegiance and Texas Pledge of Allegiance will be led by council. Please rise.
May we pray? Heavenly Father, as always, we're thankful for all of your blessings, for your watch care over us, for your divine intervention, Father, when we need your help so much. We pray for our council members tonight as they conduct city business, that you would guide and direct them and give them wisdom and understanding. We pray for our nation, for our state, for our city, Father, that we would conduct ourselves in a way that would be pleasing in your sight. And we do ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Agenda item number 4, Citizens Forum. Persons desiring to address the council must limit their presentation to no more than 2 minutes. Unless an item is posted on the agenda, the Texas Open Meetings Act prohibits the council from responding to any comment other than to refer the matter to a future agenda, to an existing policy, or to a staff person with specific factual information. Claims against the city council members or employees, as well as individual personal appeals, are not appropriate for the Citizens Forum. If necessary, the City Council may convene into executive session under Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code regarding any item on this agenda. The public forum is now open. If there is anyone that wishes to address the council, please come forward, state your name and address for the record.
Alvin Atwood, 2419 Bonham Street. First thing I want to say is, man, y'all should go ahead and give another minute because it's so hard to put everything in there, but we'll discuss that at a later time. Just somebody's opinion, nobody. I seen that now that y'all are trying to get the information out there to the citizens. I seen that we're trying about a television channel or something like that. I don't know. I think that's a good idea. Just keep in mind how many people don't have cable with all the downstreaming and blah, blah, blah. So, maybe an extent to a social media page or something of that form that people can watch. But, man, I have to say that I myself, and I've been advocating for y'all, for those that just complain on social media all the time, about the fact that y'all are actually wanting our opinions and the fact that you're listening. You're not just, I'm not going to lie to you, I lost a little bit, and I was thinking, man, I'm just wasting my breath. And then I see y'all doing stuff, especially you, man. I want to appreciate a phone call away, and that's so great. Especially those that are seeing, what's going on in our country and our cities. And I just gave hope with that, just so y'all know, because a lot of people, it's embarrassingly low numbers coming out here to talk to you. And the only way that you can represent us, and I know you're doing it for free, and that's admirable, but the only way you can represent us is to know what we want and to be able to talk to you. And then you see this media post about the roads that were been talked about forever, and everybody, over 1,000 comments on that. I don't know if y'all seen that. It was funny. I got a good laugh out of it. But anyway, I just wanted to say thank you. I've come up here and complained so many times, and now I just wanted to come say thank y'all for at least taking our opinions and getting the information out there. Information is key, and the only way that we're all going to be able to come together and that dialogue is for y'all to get us involved. And I appreciate it, and good job passing the budget thing for our ex-police officers and ex-serv. That was actually pretty cool. I didn't even mind paying a couple extra dollars in taxes. I know it was like $20 on 200,000. I think's what he said. I don't mind. I mean, those people put in their lives to serve the citizens. I think y'all did a good job of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Atwood.
Hi, my name is Michael Hill from 1225 Street Northeast. Hope everybody's doing well today. I have a proposal that would benefit the newly built curbs and U-turns put on Lamar Avenue. After witnessing countless near accidents due to the newly constructed curbs, I noticed that there are no directional signs on or near these curbs. I myself almost went into the U-turn from the wrong direction. A quick fix to this problem would be the placement of traffic directional signs. Let's say the residents of Paris, Texas get used to the order and operation of the U-turns. We will still have the foreign travelers and visitors that has not yet experienced this newly constructed project. Another problem aside from directional issues is visibility. In addition to no directional signs, the curbs are visually challenging as they have no distinct color from the roadway nor reflective guidance for the night. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Okay. Seeing none, the citizens forum is now closed. Moving on to the consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda are approved by a single action of the council, with such approval applicable to all items appearing on the consent agenda. A council member may request any item to be removed from the consent agenda and considered as a separate item. Does any member wish to remove an item from the agenda for discussion? Seeing none, I'll hear a motion to approve.
So moved.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries 5-0. We will now move on to the regular agenda. Agenda item number 16, receive a presentation from CARDS about solid waste collection process and progress. Staff, do you have a presentation?
Yes, Mayor and members of council, good evening. This evening we do have an update. We have a CARDS representative, Jason Fitzgerald, is here. As you recall, September 20th, 2023, the city entered into municipal solid waste collection transportation disposal contract with CARDS, and residential service began February 1st, with the commercial service beginning September 1st, 2024. So we are fortunate enough to have a representative from CARDS. Again, Jason Fitzgerald will be here this evening to give us an update and answer any questions you may have.
Mayor, council staff, thank you. Yeah, so as of right now, I was speaking with the mayor and Rob before the meeting. We anticipated about 650 to 700 commercial accounts inside the city. That including about, approximately 700 containers being delivered. We've well exceeded that. We're at about 890 accounts established with 909 containers delivered thus far. So very proud of the city staff and our team for working together to make sure that everyone got their containers. I know that there was some lag time that extra week, but that was just trying to accommodate everyone who had their containers taken before we had a chance to get ours put in. But we do appreciate everyone's patience and really appreciate the working with the city staff and really everyone's help to make sure that this went as smooth as we possibly could. We know that we were going to have some bumps in the road, especially when you take a process that's been established for a long period of time and you change it overnight. So we know that there was a lot of prep work that took place, but there's always going to be some stuff that comes up, and we took that on day by day, sometimes minute by minute, and we really appreciate everyone's help and understanding during that process. I know that our staff is still taking calls. We're still taking changes in frequency, quantity, even service day changes. So we will continue to keep taking those, and we want that process to go through and funnel through us if at all possible. So we still have those outlets. I know, Rob, you and your team you've done a great job of making sure that through John and social media, our websites, and our other platforms, giving us the opportunity to make sure people have a way or an outlet to get a hold of us. I can answer any questions you guys may have. There may be a question concerning the street usage fee. Our software does not allow us to put that on our invoice for commercial customers, so that comes across as a fuel surcharge, but it is in fact a street usage fee. We're working with our software company to get that changed. We are informing people as they call with that question. That's to inform them that's what that is, and that's always been a City of Paris. It was part of the bid process. It's our rate plus that street usage fee that's incorporated with it. And it's something they've always paid. I think you guys are probably already aware of that. It's just going to look different on their invoice.
Council, does anyone have any questions? I had just a couple questions.
Sure.
That I know citizens have had a couple questions regarding commercial trash in general. This has not been an easy process. I don't know how many communities you guys probably go through, but my gosh, I commend you for having to go through, start a whole new process, and I know it's got to be difficult, and so I can understand that. I will say, I think things could have obviously gone smoother, right? But I would like to ask, I mean, I know that there were some ways that you guys may have conducted in terms of trying to figure out a good survey of, hey, this is how many dumpsters we need, this is the frequency. I still would like, at some point, to have a good touch point with these business owners from a representative Cards, because I think a lot of it is this miscommunication. And we are trying that from the city's aspect, right, to try to see with Mr. McFadden's help from a PR campaign to say, hey, look, this is the number you can reach out to, this is the email, this is the proper modality to reach out to Cards for any concerns or any issues that you may be having. But if I know one thing, and I think I could say this for council too, they know this also, we know our business owners, and they like a good handshake to say, hey, I'm Jason, and I'm with Cards, and we're going to be taking care of you. But having that local one-on-one feel is what they're looking for. And so I know I take a lot of phone calls, and I don't mind that. I will always do that, whether I'm on this council or not. But I do want citizens to start feeling like, hey, we can get there. We can get there with Cards. So these are some things I really want to see is, hey, how many more dumpsters do we have left? Are we still allocating? Are we still trying to find businesses that don't have a dumpster? What are the proper channels that businesses need to go through, or even residences that need to go through to reach out to request a new dumpster, or to change a time frame or a frequency, or increase that dumpster size or decrease? I think that there's just a lot of questions on communication that I think we can all get better at, but it's also getting used to. From a residential standpoint, I know we've been 6 months in and we're doing good, but I want to make sure that the city's getting this reporting on time of, hey, this is how it's been this week. For example, I know on Friday there was a little bit of a mishap with a 500, 600 block of 32nd Southeast Street. I shouldn't have to get on social media and find out from citizens that, hey, I didn't get my trash picked up last night. I want to make sure that those citizens are getting their trash picked up, whether it's residential or commercially, right? And we owe that to them. We owe that to them. So we have appreciated working with you guys. We want to continue to work with you all, but we want this to be a more fruitful relationship and with better communication on all ends. That's really what I want to see at the end of the day, and I think that's what we all want to see.
Sure.
Right? So with that being said, I mean, I really would like to continue to see some updates, but I think council really needs to be channeled into this because, for example, if 32nd Southeast Street, if 2 blocks didn't get picked up, hey, council members going to get, all these calls and emails and text alerts, and, they're going to be asking what's happening, right? And if city staff doesn't know, and if Cards knows, but city staff doesn't know, then we've got a problem, and we've got a lot of miscommunication. So I just want to streamline that communication, get better at that, but I would really humbly ask that council get that communication also from a weekly standpoint to understand, hey, how did we do? Did we miss a house on Monday? Maybe we did perfect on Tuesday. On Wednesday, maybe there might have been 3 houses that were missed. And why? What are we doing to resolve that, right? So, I understand this is a hard situation for our citizens to get used to. I get it. I'm a business owner. Many of us are business owners. We feel it too. But, hang in there, and we're going to get through this time. If anyone ever has any questions, we want to make sure we direct it with Cards, with city involvement, and make sure that we get down to the bottom of it. So I know that there's going to be a couple additional questions and requests that we'll probably ask, but nothing that shouldn't be already prepared. We want to make sure that we do get this shared with council, though. I think that's fair.
Sure.
Any questions from your end, sir?
I don't think so. I know that we did have that opportunity Friday. I know our team responded Saturday as soon as we got notified that there was an issue. Appreciate the feedback on that. I know that our team's goal every day is to pick up everyone's trash. But we do understand that sometimes things happen and they may forget where they left off after they got back from going to the landfill. So I think that's what happened in that particular case, but I know that Cameron and Scott made sure that we had some guys back out to take care of that trash. And we are excited that we are able to employ a lot more of our employees here from the city of Paris. So I am happy to announce that. I know we've spoke about that sometimes. That's not something that I always remember to talk about. So we're excited to see more people come to us for employment opportunities, and especially people with inside the city. So we're excited for that. I know that we are, per our agreement, we will provide monthly reports. I know that we stay in contact with the city staff frequently, so we can provide any kind of reports that you guys need, especially with our software programs. And I know that from a residential standpoint, everything's been running pretty smoothly. It seems like anytime they ask me to come speak anywhere, regardless if it's here or wherever, there tends to have something like that happen, but maybe I'm just bad luck, I don't know.
Well, I know residentially, it was a change, right? That's an adjustment for a lot of people. We went from bags, we went from twice a week pickup to once a week pickup to polycards. So there's a lot of change in that, interim period. And so I can understand that being a hurdle to have to jump through. But I think that with this time that's elapsed, people have gotten used to it. People have really started to get adjusted to the process. And it
looks nice.
Yeah, I think that people are starting to really get it. And so I do appreciate y'all making that as smooth as possible. And I hope that the same could, it's only been 3 weeks, so I hope the same could be said about our commercial transition too. I know it's even harder, but we'll get there.
Yeah, and I know our team, we have weekly, daily calls to go over routing, specifically with commercial routes, because we know that some of those service frequency days are going to change. And so I know our team is making sure that they're, someone may have gotten a container that may be too big or too small, or they may want something a little bit different. So we're trying to accommodate as quickly as we can. And most of that stuff in the very beginning, some of the stuff that no one really talked about or saw was some of the things that our staff was doing. We brought in extra people to pick up the extra and then dump it at no additional charge. We just wanted to make sure that they were taken care of. And I just want to really make sure that I thank our team for that and really appreciate everyone that's helped from the city staff as well, because there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that not a lot of people talk about. So really appreciate that. I know that we've all together tried to make sure that this has come as smooth as possible. And like you said, it's a huge overtaking, and we really took that in mind. And we know that, you say, hey, you had a year to plan for that. I think sometimes, we could have had 5 years to plan for it, but you're never going to be exactly perfect on it. So, because everything changes during that process.
I'll also state, you guys, I know a lot of the citizens don't get a chance to see behind the curtain and see what it takes to pick up this trash. I've learned very well now on how this process goes, but I do give you guys kudos anytime there's a request that comes up. I try to fast track it to you all to say, hey, have we gotten this picked up, or how are we looking on this front? And there's very quickly, there's a quick response to get there and to make it right. So I want to keep that spirit of making it right, keep going. And as we kind of get through the speed bumps and flatten things out and keep going, I want to continue that transition. The couple things I did want to ask, though, just for clarity's sake, I would like to find a way to work with Mr. McFadden and to see, hey, if you have questions or if there are concerns, this is a number, or this is the email, or this is who the contact's going to be that you need to reach out to. I still find on social media that there's a lot of people that are saying, hey, I've called this number, I've called this number, this number's out of service. And so I've not been able to understand where that's coming from, but if they have a wrong number, I want to correct that wrong and make sure that they get the right number.
Okay.
And then the other thing,
I thought we had a lot of that ironed out, because we've done a pretty extensive FAQ. We've provided, I know we've provided a lot of information on the website. We've shared that information
Yeah.
with both websites. Facebook, I think our team just, against my, I didn't really approve this, but they started their own TikTok now. So now they've got a TikTok channel for everyone to talk about where to place your cans, or just make us more personable with people. But I'll get with John, though, to make sure, Mr. McFadden, to make sure that we've got everything up to date. Maybe if we can add anything else to that, we'll make sure to do that, yeah.
and I've also tried to ask folks, hey, what are the numbers that you're trying to reach out to? But I've not gotten anything out of that. I do call that number that's on the actual dumpsters, and I get a pretty quick response. I know there could be a queue sometimes if there's high volume, but aside from that, I think it's pretty straightforward. We just want to continue and keep going forward, so. All right.
I want to say, I'm a business owner, and I had an issue, and I want to give you guys your kudos. I want to give you guys kudos. I called in. I didn't let them know I was on the council, and I talked to a real nice lady, and in a day, they had my issue taken care of. And so I want to give you guys kudos for that.
Good, thank you for the good news. Yeah, that's great, yeah.
Yeah, I'll say the same. That from a business standpoint, I personally have not had issues, the same with residential, but that doesn't mean that there may not be an issue out there somewhere. But if there is, hey, we're going to get it done.
Right.
We want to figure it out and keep moving forward, so.
And that's our goal as well. And, we're a service provider. We're never going to be perfect. We know that, but we want to be able to respond. And so I appreciate that feedback.
And one more thing, I'm sorry, before we conclude on this topic, I want to give a really, a standing ovation for some of these folks from the city side also. A lot of our city staff, they don't get that praise. They're not out there to be able to be seen and whatnot, but I will say, MA and the team, Edwin Samus, my goodness, there were nights there that we were trying to help and adjust, getting phone calls at 10:30, 11 o'clock. He's giving me updates. They are working hard. And so for anyone out there within our community, if you see someone that works for the city, then give them a little pat on the back and say thank you, please. They really are trying to work hard and establish that relationship and get the kinks rolled out. So thank you guys that work really hard on that from the city staff. I appreciate y'all, and we all appreciate it. The community appreciates it.
I just had one question. Sorry, before we finish.
No, please.
The only question I got from a resident was, is there a limit on how many residential cans you can have? Is it just 2?
Right now, 2 is pretty much the limit.
Okay.
If they have more than 2, we probably need to start looking at more of a commercial type container, because that's going to be that's a lot of storage of containers at the house. And so, those 96-gallon carts are pretty big. So anything past 2, I think if we start to add on to that, you're gonna have a bigger problem on your hands from a city standpoint.
I think that's it.
I can talk trash all night.
One last question. On pricing, I know there have been some questions on the first bill for many. I still have not received my own from a business standpoint, but there are a lot of commercial business owners out there that are wanting to understand how that works. It's higher than what they were anticipating. Is that because of, you're paying a month in advance? Is that why? That was one explanation I got.
So all of our commercial accounts are billed a month in advance, just based because we have to pay the disposal on all the garbage that we dispose of in that month.
Okay.
So the first month of service, they're going to be impacted with that first month. So if services were to cancel next month, they wouldn't have, basically that service is already paid for.
Gotcha.
So that first month was what is actually paying. But, I've heard some people tell me their rates are much lower than what they were currently paying. And everyone's rates are going to be a lot different because there were a lot of different haulers inside city limits, so they're going to vary. But we've had a lot of great feedback based on that, mixed reviews, but a lot of it's been very positive. So.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure to get that out there because I know that was a big question from a lot of folks, and I just want them to understand that that's the explanation that I had gotten also. that, hey, it's going to be higher the first month, but then it should subside after that to your regular rate that was discussed per the frequency pickup and the dumpster size. So no problem. I just wanted to make sure to get that
Sure,
clarification.
sure, yeah, the first bill will have 2 months on there, basically.
Fantastic. All right. If there's no further questions, I think we'll move on to the next agenda item.
Perfect, thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Mr. Fitzgerald. Agenda item number 17, discuss and act on a resolution amending the tax abatement agreement between the City of Paris and Lions Head Specialty Tire and Wheel LLC. Staff, do you have a presentation?
I believe that Maureen is going to address that for us.
Ms. Hammond?
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. Last month, we talked about amending the tax abatement agreement to allow for an extension for a completion date for Lions Head. That extension was through the end of December for an effective date of January 1st, 2025. So I believe tonight we are asking for approval of that amended agreement.
Yes, there's a resolution that was presented to you with the amendment attached to it. So that's what we're asking for, is approval of the resolution that approves the amendment.
And I'll add that Commissioners Court presented this morning, they approved that amendment.
All right. Fantastic. Is there any discussion on this item? If not, I'd like to hear a motion.
Make a motion.
We got a motion and a
Second.
and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you for your support.
Thank
Should be
you.
an opening soon.
There you go. Thank you. Agenda item number 18, discussion and act on an ordinance amending Division 2 Planning and Zoning Commission of Chapter 2 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Paris, Texas, to formally reduce the number of members from 9 to 7 members. Staff, do you have a presentation?
Yes. This is a cleanup ordinance. Decades ago, at least as far back as 1970, we passed an ordinance through the authority of a local government code creating the Planning and Zoning Commission. At that time, the ordinance provided for a commission with 9 members. Apparently, we rocked along with 9 members for a couple of decades, and then in 1999, 2000, around that time period, the city reduced the number of commissioners from 9 to 7 without anybody realizing that there was this original ordinance from before the 70s. So what we're asking you to do, and let me back up, we took the issue to Planning and Zoning this month for discussion as to whether they thought that they were best staying at 7 members, or if they wanted to ask for the council to appoint 2 additional members. And basically, by a quorum standpoint, and the number of people required to be on the commission, when we sometimes have trouble finding members for all of our commissions, the P&Z recommended that we stay at 7 members. So what you have in front of you is an ordinance that amends Section 2.03.031 that provides for a 7-member commission, and amends 2.03.038 that reduces the quorum from 5 to 4 in accordance with the reduced number of commissioners. So we would recommend that you approve that ordinance.
Council, is there any discussion on this item? I just wanted to state for the record, I appreciate the housekeeping on this, because that's a tough one to kind of to read and see that, hey, we've been operating with 7. So I do appreciate the cleanup on this. This is good. If there's no other further discussion, I'll take a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the ordinance amending and formally reducing the number of members from 9 to 7 members.
All right, we got a motion.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries 5-0. Agenda item number 19, discuss and act on an agreement with LT Wings for the construction of an access road to be funded by LT Wings LLC, and authorize the interim city manager to execute all necessary documents. Staff, do you have a presentation?
Yes, sir. Mayor, City Council. This memorandum is It's for the purpose of the city to enter into an agreement with LT Wings for the purpose to construct a access road out there at the airport to accommodate new properly owned hangars. Hangars aren't built yet. We'll have that in another council meeting. We've been working with the city has been working with LT Wings for quite a long time on this to get everything kind of squared away. Due to the nature of like FAA funding, TxDOT funding, it would be years upon years upon years before anything like this would come about. And the private party, they're really pro-airport. They really want to see the airport grow. They really don't want to wait for the years upon years to have this project come through. And it's not even a guarantee that TxDOT would even touch this project. So one thing, LT Wings is going to they're going to completely fund this project. The cities, we're going to be helping out with installing the fire hydrants and the water lines that's needed out there. But overall, LT Wings is going to front everything. Then the city is going to install the fire hydrants. So we're not really paying any kind of dollar amount, if you will. So on the slideshow there in the red circle, that's where it's just an overview of the airport. In the red area is where the construction will be. So you got the green line and the red line. The green line is the existing taxiway. The hangars are going to go in between the two lines. And one might think that, why not just use the green line or the taxiway to get to the hangars? That's a big no-no in FAA and TxDOT's world. So an access road has got to be built to get vehicle access to the hangars. And so in engineering drawing, this is what you're seeing here. So you have the access road here. And then it's 1,366 feet development right there on the access road. You have a taxi lane that's coming off the main taxiway. And then you'll notice the square boxes with the X's. Those are the proposed hangars. So if you do a number count, it's 9 hangars, one of which LT Wings is going to keep for themselves, and everything else will be sold off as these hangars are built. The hangars and stuff, they have not went through council, so and we're not talking about the hangars or the ground leases tonight. This is just strictly for the access road. So of course, staff does recommend, the city enter into the agreement with LT Wings and then authorize the interim city manager to sign off on that.
Council, is there any discussion, any questions that we have?
I think it's great to have some development out there. What kind of time frame are we looking at?
That's probably really going to be weather dependent, to tell you the truth, kind of going down into the rainy season. We've been working on this quite some time. There's been a lot of delays with the engineering process and things of that nature. But I really wouldn't feel comfortable saying 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, just because we're kind of going down into the cold season. In fact, that's why we had our runway project kind of pushed up. Originally, TxDOT wanted to start that in October, and I was a huge opponent against that because I worked at another airport where they kind of bit us, and we kind of had to pay for it. So, but it's just, I'm not sure. So definitely this fiscal year, but I mean, it can't go up fast enough, I'll tell you that much. So.
Is there any approvals that need to go through TxDOT as far as like drainage or?
Yeah, so that's a
water
really good idea.
yeah.
So on this engineering drawing, you'll see on the bottom right-hand side, you'll see a KSA stamp right there. KSA is a aviation engineering platform.
Okay.
And this is what they do for a living. And so they have, since TxDOT's not paying for this, they're kind of like hands off, but they kind of want to look over your shoulder anyway.
Sure.
And they've already done this, so they've already kind of signed off on this.
Good.
How do the tenants and folks feel about this project? They're pretty excited about it?
They'll be excited after you approve this.
Good deal.
They're waiting for the other shoe to drop, so.
The question that I have, and I don't know if, Stephanie, if I can ask this question regarding the number of hangars that's proposed. The question I have is why 9? Are they already kind of earmarked for particular individuals saying, hey, I'm interested, or?
I'm not sure why they decided on 9. They just said 9. But I will say, the closer you go to the left, to the end of the taxiway there, you do have a drainage creek that's kind of not really encroaching or anything like that, but you're already kind of getting close to this, so you really can't build that many more hangars. And if you get too close up there, you know, there's not going to be an engineering company that's going to touch that stuff. So, and then TxDOT will never sign off on it anyway.
Well, I'll say, I do appreciate this project tremendously. This has been a long time coming.
It is.
And I know since I got on council, this has been a topic of conversation. So this is a very positive move and great work from your end to help, you know, tie up any loose ends and work with the tenants to figure this issue out. So.
One more question. The taxiway by the first hangar, that's wide enough to where it'll give access to everything that's, I guess, whatever that is, east or south of there?
It will,
right?
yeah. So if you kind of look at the very first big square there with the X, that represents the first hangar that's going to be built, or the larger hangar that's going to be built. LT Wings, they're going to keep that for themselves, and so they're wanting to put a jet in there once the hangar gets built. But the taxi lane itself, that's actually it actually accommodates the hangar for the jet traffic, but it also sets the airport up for future growth. So they're kind of helping us out on that a little bit, because that's going to be you wouldn't look at it, you wouldn't know by looking at it, but it's a 299-foot extension there. So
Fantastic.
Yeah.
This is great.
Paul, is the developer or a representative here that would like to speak?
do you want to talk in front of people? Those are the guys, but you want to, no? No.
Well, thank you for your investment, if this obviously goes through, which sounds like it could, but thank you for your investment and your interest in our community. If there's no further discussion or any questions, love to hear a motion.
So moved.
Okay, we got a motion, a second for Mr. Ellis. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say no. Motion carries 5-0.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Agenda item number 20, discuss and act on an ordinance approving a negotiated settlement between the Atmos Cities Steering Committee and the Atmos Energy Corp. Mid-Texas Division regarding the company's 2024 rate review mechanism filing, declaring existing rates to be unreasonable, adopting tariffs that reflect rate adjustments consistent with the negotiated settlement, finding the rates to be set by the attached settlement tariffs to be just and reasonable and in the public interest, approving an attachment establishing a benchmark for pensions and retirees' medical benefits, requiring the company to reimburse ACSC's reasonable rate-making expenses, determining that this ordinance was passed in accordance with the requirements of the Texas Open Meeting Act. Staff, do you have a presentation? That was a
Mayor and
mouthful.
council, earlier this year, Atmos Gas filed for a rate increase that totaled $196 million from all of their customers. That rate increase request was reviewed by consultants from the Atmos Steering Committee, which is a group of 182 cities that come together to review and examine rate increases from Atmos when they're requested. Paris is a member of that organization. This rate review mechanism is something that's been approved previously by the legislature. It keeps them from having to have a full-blown rate case. It sets out certain requirements, that allow for increases. In reviewing, the consultants reviewing that request, there were things in the rate review mechanism that Atmos requested that they're not allowed to request, and that reduced that request down to $182 million. Further negotiations with the steering committee consultant reduced the request down to $164 million, which is about $32 million less than what they originally requested. The ordinance that you have before you reflects those negotiated rates. The city staff recommends approval of that ordinance, and the effective date of the rate increase would be October the 1st, 2024.
Council, is there any discussion, any questions? I had a question. Theoretically speaking, what happens if we say no?
Yeah. If you say no, then we'll be on our own. The negotiated rates would not go into effect, but the rates would default back up to that 182 million, and we'd actually have rates higher than what's negotiated. You know, we could appeal that and fight it with Public Utilities Commission on our own, but we'd be on our own, we'd be having to pay for it.
Yeah, obviously I wouldn't want to entertain that, but I was just curious. I mean, I know that this has been presented time and time again, these types of situations, and I just wondered, hey, what happens if you just say no and just go out on a limb? Although I really don't like the fact that we'd have to go up anymore. I mean, if we've learned one thing this year, people are paying so much. It's unbelievable. But here we are. I mean, it's kind of, you're stuck, you know?
Yeah, we're trying to be as efficient. I mean, each city could hire its own consultant, pay that consultant up front. There's a provision in the rate review mechanism that would allow Atmos to reimburse us for that, but we'd still have to fund it up front. So rather than do that 182 times by all the cities served by Atmos, we come together and we hire the same consultant, and the steering committee fronts the money, you know, and then it gets reimbursed. So, I mean, it's the best way we found to do it.
I appreciate the explanation and going a little bit further in depth on that. Thank you.
I have a question.
Please, Mr. Ellis.
Their rates went up a couple of years ago. They sent out a letter to everyone who had an account with Atmos Energy. It seems like it was 30%. Am I wrong on that? Does anybody know?
I don't remember percentage.
gas
I don't
rates
remember anyone it being that large. And, you know, the percentage is different, you know, just like it is in this case, whether it's a residential unit or a commercial business. You know, the rate increases normally vary based on the customer type.
Any further discussions? Any other questions? If not, I'll hear a motion.
I make a motion to accept the ordinance.
Right, we got a motion.
A second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say no. Motion carries 5-0. Agenda item number 21, discuss and act on meeting dates in November and December. Staff, do you have a presentation?
Yes. On your meetings in November and December, November the 11th is actually a holiday. It's Veterans Day. Normally, you all cancel the second meetings for November and December. So staff is recommending that you cancel the November 11th and 25th meeting, combine one meeting for Tuesday, November the 12th, and then just cancel the December 23rd meeting because it's Christmas week. That would leave you one meeting in November and one meeting in December.
Any discussion on that option?
I like it.
I like it.
I think it's a good bet. You probably need a vote on that, correct?
Please.
Okay. I'll hear a motion.
I make it.
Okay, we got a motion from Mr. Ellis.
Second.
Got a second from Ms. Putnam. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Agenda item number 22, discuss and act on a request from the TERS Board to approve an expenditure for the retention of a consultant to assist the board with strategies for reviewing and possibly amending the project and finance plans for TERS number 1. Staff, do you have a presentation, please?
Yes. Good evening, Mayor and Council. So what is before you today is to approve the expenditure of $20,000 from the TERS Board Fund for the retention of a consultant to assist the board with strategies for reviewing and possibly amending the project and financing plans for the TERS number 1, and possibly taking an action to that. Actually, during somewhere around in March 2024, at the special meeting by the TERS Board, they realized that they needed a consultant to help them with this project and financing plan. So they decided to get a subcommittee to look into that and find a good consultant to help them do that. So on August 29th, last month, the subcommittee met to review proposals from consultants. Two finalists were Forked Pine Consulting and also Jeff Snowden of CAPAX Consulting Group. And after analyzing the proposals, Forked Pine Consulting was selected. And so it went back to the TERS board with the recommendation from the subcommittee that they feel confident that Forked Pine Consulting was the top candidate for this project. And so they voted unanimously to select Forked Pine. What is before you today is to approve the 20,000 fee cap on this project so that it will be confirmed. So while the law vests authority in the TERS board to make decisions such as choosing and retaining consultants, state law and the TERS board number 1 bylaws require that the city council approve all expenditures from the TERS board fund, and that is what is before you today. In actual fact, the consultant's proposal for consulting services cap is 20,000 and will be paid from the TERS board fund. Therefore, consequently, there is no impact with the city's budget. At this stage, options that are available for council to consider is to accept the expenditure for hiring Forked Pine Consulting. The other option may be to reject it and also look for another proposal, if you so wish. The recommendation before you today is that if you look at the TERS bylaw Article 1, Section 2, the City Council must approve all programs and expenditure for the zone and annually review any financial statements of the zone. And therefore, the recommendation from the TERS board is you, City Council, should approve the consulting service cap for $20,000 for Forked Pine Consulting to look into the project. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'll open up discussion for council. Any questions or anything that we want to discuss?
So I think there were a lot of changes from the initial TERS, I guess, formation. So realistically, how often should this happen, that a consultant takes a look at the goals and objectives?
I'm just a coordinator, but my personal opinion in technical review is that with the TERS board looking at the zones, there are certain sections of it, and there is some sort of hegemony between where funds should go. That is why we are getting a consultant. I'm hoping that the consultant would do a good job to explain and put strategies together to show where funds should go and how it should be disbursed. If it's done well, I think that conflict or interest will be equally or fairly shared, and that subsequently in future times we will not need a consultant. A consultant is only consulted only when there's a conflict or something is not clear moving forward. And so if they do a good job, we will have a clear path and we will not need a consultant. Thank you.
I can address that as well. The comptroller's office recommends that you review your financing plan and project plan at least every 3 to 5 years. This will be the first time we've done this as a city, and the city is new to the TERS business. So we need that initial help from a consultant to work us through that process. We may find that every time we do that, we need a consultant, but we may find that we don't.
Any other questions or any other discussion? I'll say I'm a strong advocate of this also just because we need a good foundation. And the one thing that I really liked about this proposal, which I believe the other company also had too, but the education part of it, I know this is not my strongest suit. We're all new to this, but I personally like that education component because it's not just that TERS board or council or staff that need to know this, but it's the public that needs to know this too. So I'm really glad to see that we have that education standpoint coming forth too. Well, if there's no further discussion, I'll hear a motion.
I move to approve item 22 as presented.
Okay, got a motion from Mr. Kessel.
Second.
Got a motion, a second from Ms. Moore. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those against, say no. My words are all gibberish now. Motion carries 5-0. Agenda item number 23, consider and approve future events for city council and/or city staff pursuant to resolution number 2004-081. Does anyone have anything that they want to present or bring forward? Seeing none, we'll move on to agenda item number 24, adjournment. I'll hear a motion in a second for adjournment.
So moved.
Got a motion and a second for Mr. Ellis. All right, we are adjourned.